Hey everybody, my name's Seth, and today I want to ramble about Jim Carrey. So if you follow me on Twitter or liked my Facebook page, you already know what I'm about to say about Jim Carrey. Um, I actually just reposted a link to an article written by Collective Evolution, I think. I actually reposted what they reposted from November of 2014 about Jim Carrey's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. And I would look up the video. He had quite a lot to say. So I'll put a link to the article, and that article has the video in it below. I'm really talking about this because I want to know what you guys think, and if you think it was real or not, what do you think his intentions were, and your whole ideas on the subject at hand. So firstly, I just want to go over Jim Carrey's chart a little bit. Let's make this quick and look at his personality placements and draw really from there. And maybe I'll throw in a few more things that I see within his chart. So personality-wise, he has a Scorpio ascendant. So with that, we know that Jim is someone who is firstly guarded. He's very guarded about who he is and making sure that whatever he does in life doesn't show too much about who he is as a person and what's going on with him internally. We'll usually find with comedians with Scorpio ascendants, Aquarius ascendants, sometimes Taurus ascendants, Cancer ascendants, that you won't know much about what they actually think of things until they take the time to say so, until they become very pointed about what they think and how they feel about things. You usually find with those type of comedians, they play so many other faces or they put on so many other personalities, but that you're never necessarily sure when they're being serious and when they're not, when they're being themselves and when they're being a character. And Jim definitely fits under that category with this Scorpio ascendant. So we know that his decisions are focused. His decisions are usually to get ahead. To get something done. He's goal oriented. And he's also emotion oriented. He wants to make sure that his emotions are fed, that he is kept emotionally sound. He makes sure that no one else knows what his emotional needs are. That's a vulnerability. He takes care of them in himself. He helps where he can, but he's never going to be too inclined to give up personal information for no reason or for no good reason. Then we also see that he has Neptune really only 2 degrees away from his ascendant. 2 degrees away, Neptune is definitely sending some energy into his first house. So this means that Jim is not going to be the most serious out of all these Scorpio ascendants. He's not going to be as serious. He's not going to be as intimidating. He's not going to be really as cutthroat as some Scorpio ascendants can be when it comes to what they want and going about getting what they want. You're going to see that he's even better at becoming different characters. And now you look at his art and you look at his career, and you see Neptune playing a big role here. The fact that he can literally change his face. He can make you think he looks like someone else. He can do things to his outer appearance to make him look and act and seem more like someone else or another character, anything far from who he really is. He can confuse you. He can say and do things to make you think that he is different than what he actually is. And then you look at the fact that he attacked a symbology that night on Jimmy Kimmel, and Neptune is so close to his ascendant and within his 12th house, looking at the symbologies that he pays attention to, and the fact that he is very attuned to symbology in life to begin with. Then we move to his sun. He has a sun in Capricorn, sitting in his 3rd house. I'll just say now, his sun is conjunct 6 other planets. No, his sun is conjunct 5 other planets. Within his 3rd house, he has an extremely active 3rd house, so there's a lot going on there. This is telling you that he's extremely witty. He's smart. He exposes himself to a lot of different things, so he can take from a lot of different things when he communicates his messages or the messages that are put down on a script. The fact that he takes his career seriously, that he built something up for himself from the ground up, he practiced constantly, and the fact that his career is surrounding communication in some way. Comedy is a form of communication. Being in front of a camera and talking to people or playing a certain character, that's a form of communication. And being able to pretend to be this person, pretend to be that person, and explore different sides of who he is, looks at the multifaceted energy of his third house. And the fact that he is so well known for it and so good at it shows the determination that Capricorn, and his sun being in Capricorn, is giving to his art. His sun is sitting in the third house with Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury. Between Capricorn and Aquarius. Look up his chart if you want to know more. Mars is included here. Mars is very close to that third house line, so I incorporate Mars energy into his third house. And that's going to be in Capricorn too, but sitting in his second house. With this placement, with this sun placement, you see that acknowledgement comes in the form of legitimate acknowledgement. Looking at the awards that he's nominated for or winning, looking at the sales in the movies that he's a part of, looking at what his art is doing to build up a name for himself and build up a name for his talents. He's looking for concrete acknowledgement. He's looking for measurable respect. What kind of job offers is he getting? What type of people is he now working with? What type of writers are approaching him? He's looking at the validity of what is going on within his career to really decide how much acknowledgement and success he's going to accept and really come to terms with when it comes to his career and when it comes to him as a person. When you look at the way his thoughts work, with his sun now being a part of the way that he makes sense of the world, he's very much into exploration of others' thoughts, looking at other people's thoughts and comparing his thoughts to others to really ground himself and make him feel as if he has the most well-rounded approach to how to view the world. And he wants to be able to look at his thoughts, look at his approach on life, and feel as if he's making the most sensible decisions possible. To feel as if he is creating a career for himself that is stable, that will last him years. He may not be looking to be the most famous actor around, but he is looking to make sure that his art is the best that he can make it, and make sure that it's that he has longevity, which he clearly does, and to make sure that he can make a mark on the world and the mark on the way that people think and the way that people exploration in general. He wants to leave a mark on that, and it seems like on that day he made sure that he did so. He made his mark on the people that would pay attention. On that night when he was on Jimmy Kimmel Live, he had Pluto and Mars conjunct in his second house, and Capricorn in his second house. This is telling you that he had a lot of energy to put into what he was going to do on that stage in front of everyone. First of all, he was having a Mars return with Pluto conjunct it. There are two ways I really see this going when it comes to, do you believe what he said and do you not? Do you think it was a joke? Do you think it was something more serious? If it was something more serious, if it was something he was seriously trying to give out to the world and like he may have said it in a joke, but his words were real, that sort of situation, Pluto being there would be his drive while he was promoting a movie, looking at his second house, to take the time to use his career to affect the way people think, looking at his sun, looking at the Aquarius energy and the Capricorn energy in his third house. Taking the time to create a message within the short amount of time that he had on that stage, and to deliver that message, and to make sure that people understood what he was trying to tell them. He was blunt, and he was surfacing. He literally said, "I'm sick of the lies. I'm sick of the secrets." Pluto conjunct Mars in his second house. This is all surrounding his career. He called out other entertainers, other comedians. There's a second way to look at this. If he is lying, if there's something that he doesn't believe in, this is something that he was given to talk about, or if it was just a joke and he wanted to make fun of it, Pluto and Mars conjunct in his second house can show that as well. Because he is showing his devotion to his work, his devotion to the people that he is working under, and the fact that he had the active energy to go out in front of everyone and lie to them, to confuse how they see things, to confuse how people understand what's going on in their world, to confuse their logic. Again, looking at the Capricorn energy in his third house, and all of this energy being put into his work within his second house. You can just really see how he can be using that Pluto energy to really lie to people, confuse them, and give them the wrong impression, as to make them more vulnerable for information coming from the same source. With that transit going on November 14th when he was on Jimmy Kimmel. And then looking at how his son is making that a part of what was going on that day, a part of who he is, with his son being in Capricorn in his third house. Now we move on to his moon. And we're seeing, and his moon is in Gemini in his 8th house. Hopefully you can immediately see that connection to his moon, his natal moon being in the 8th house and Pluto being in the 2nd, and what happened that night. But moon in Gemini means that he is the type of person to rationalize his emotions, to rationalize what's going on with him emotionally, and then really put those emotions that he just rationalized into action within his third house, and all that energy going on within his third house. You can also see with his moon being in the 8th house, that idea of him hiding who he really is, hiding his emotions, and maybe even using his career as a way to implement how he feels, implement emotions that he feels within his day and thoughts that he has, and not have to take ownership for it. To really put it out for other people to take on, to analyze, and to deal with. And he is sort of, his emotions, or his emotional thoughts, his emotional place in the world is sort of kept secret. How he feels and how he thinks is kept secret, even more so than just having that Scorpio ascendant. His moon is in the 8th house, where he will naturally hide the things that he feels. You can see that there is a turn with age on where Jim Carrey's persona was placed early on in life, and where his persona is being placed now, where he is placing it. With him speaking up about occult-like things, either it being real or it being fake, him even making that a part of his life, exposing that side of himself. You can see how age and maturity is letting him expose a little bit more of what's going on in his 8th house in general. He is at a place in his life where he can deal with those sort of things, and deal with what's happening with his moon energy, with his Gemini energy, with those thoughts and those taboo subjects when it comes to life in general, and what we see and what we hear, and what is lie and what is truth, and what is going on behind the scenes in the universe. He craves mental stimulation. He craves the idea of being exposed to a lot of different information from a lot of different people, and getting to the bottom of things, getting to the bottom of ideas, getting to the bottom of theologies, and understanding on an emotional level what is happening in the world, what is happening within his world specifically. So you can definitely see that he's the type of person who's going to speak about something that he knows, speak about something that he's researched firsthand, because with that moon placement, he wants to get his hands dirty, and he wants to read and understand and communicate and exchange information that is a little bit darker, that is a little bit seedier. But he wants to be able to be in that moment, be there, and explore it, and expose himself to it. And for him to be talking about what he talked about on Jimmy Kimmel, he definitely showed and communicated how he was exposed to that, and gave a good portion of what that meant for him and what that means within the world as of today. Now, if we go back and look at the transits of what was going on November 14th, the day he was up there, his first house was pretty active. He had Venus, Saturn, and the Sun all in Scorpio transiting his first house. This again puts a lot of attention on the occult. His moon was being called into play here, his natal moon, because Venus and the Sun and Saturn were all sitting in Scorpio, activating what exactly are you hiding back here? Where is this secret little place? And what's going on within that secret little place? And how can we bring it to the forefront of who you are and what people see in you, while we're all sitting here on your first house? He was very direct to the point. His message was very clear, whether it was a lie or whether it was truth. His message was extremely clear. He did it in the only way Jim Carrey could. He was himself. He was effervescent. He was bright. And he made sure that he captured people's attention without much effort. All it took was a hand sign. And then from that point on, you listened until the end. And then with Venus being there, he didn't upset anyone. It wasn't like he was this crazy person who was trying to tell everybody about all these conspiracy theories. He was funny, and he was jovial, and he was honestly charming. And he pulled it off with tact. It was clear that he had certain points to make, and that those certain points were going to be made significant with certain jokes. He balanced out the structure of what he wanted to say with the structure of his jokes, with the charm of who he was, perfectly within that segment. You can really see Venus, Saturn, and the Sun at work there. And the fact that they were at work on exposing something, whether it be truth, really exposing what's going on, or whether it be a lie, and him delving into manipulating and lying to the world, either way, Scorpio is the bottom line there. Scorpio deals with both of those things. And that's what you saw him dealing with when he was in front of you, when he had his persona really giving off what it gave off within that segment. Now, speaking of his persona, more of his 10th house, he did have the moon there. The moon was transiting within his 10th house in Leo, 28 degrees Leo. That's where Regulus sits, the fixed star Regulus. The meaning of that. Firstly, the transiting moon being in Leo in his 10th house means that there was a lot of energy and a lot of charm going off of who he was to begin with. What he did, people were not going to react badly to that. It wasn't going to be a major backlash. It's almost promised that there was not going to be a major backlash there. People were going to appreciate it as a joke or appreciate it as the truth. Not a lot of people were going to look at him as a liar or someone who was trying to deceive you. The significance of the moon being at 28 degrees Leo as he was doing this is the fact that he made a serious statement that is going to follow his career for the rest of his life. He now involved himself in something that is crucial to what is going on within our world as a whole. Within our Western world, I should say. I'm not sure of its implications on the rest of the world. But in the Western world, this is a big deal that him and the place that he's at in his career spoke up about it. And here are the two ways we can look at it. If this is something true, if this is something that he feels strongly about and he believes in, he just made a very clear, very loud statement to let everyone know that I am here for this information, to follow me on where, and if you want to know more about what's going on, look at what I say, look at what I do. I'm letting you know that I am a part of this, and I'm speaking up about this part of this, and all of you are going to see me, all of you are going to hear me. If you're Googling this stuff, you're going to find this interview. He made his statement very clear, and he put a very strong stamp on this part of the discussion when it comes to marketing manipulation and really human manipulation when you look at the Illuminati as a whole. If it is a lie, if it is something that he is actually working for these people, or if it's just a joke, he put himself out there. If this is just a joke, he put himself out there. He's now a part of this. Again, when you Google this stuff, you will find him eventually. And if that joke is just a joke, he still made that imprint. You still cannot avoid this interview and his joke being thrown into the mix of how people understand what's going on within the subject matter he was discussing. If this was a lie, he made a very strong influence here. A lot of people are going to be deceived. A lot of people are going to get the wrong ideas just as he planned if he was lying, if he was working for someone to do this. And having that powerful, powerful Leo placement, that 28 degrees right there with that moon, means that he is going to lie to a lot of people at once. And they are going to stick to his lie, and they are going to believe his lie, and they're going to look up to his lies. And it's going to help carry how they do things in their life. He also has Pluto in his 10th house. His 10th house cusp is Leo, but there's a lot more Virgo energy happening within his midheaven than there is Leo. And Pluto is a part of that energy going on within his 10th house. And with Pluto being there, you can kind of see his career surrounding the structure of how something is done. He most likely very active within how a movie is made, not only just his role in it as an actor. And with Pluto being there, he is exposed to and a strong part of the underbelly of what is going on when a movie is made, not just the underbelly of what it means to be an actor. So for him to speak on these things, and for Pluto to be his natal Pluto to be sitting within his 10th house, this means that he's not lying about his exposure. If he is lying about the ideas that he is talking about in this segment, then it's coming straight from the source. He's right there with that source of where those lies are coming from. If he is telling the truth about how he feels about the subject he's discussing on that segment, then it is coming from a place of personal experience, because his career surrounded it. His career brought him in touch with the underbelly of what's going on. And he's talking about these things because he actually knows about these things. And not only does he know about it, he has strong feelings that he explored about it with his moon being in the 8th house. This means that he took a lot of time to understand what he was going through and what was going on in his life and what his career has to do with what's going on within the other underbelly of this establishment, with his sun being in the 3rd house. And the fact that he had to cope with it for a long time before he decided to say anything about it and expose himself, with his ascendant being in Scorpio. So that's my take on the whole thing. You guys can let me know what you think about it, if you know any more about his chart. And yeah, thanks for watching.